Dear friends, Shabbat Shalom. I want to begin tonight with a story from the life of the Baal Shem Tov, the founder of Judaism's Hasidic movement. When the Baal Shem first began to preach his message of joy, many rabbis opposed him. They worried that his celebratory spirit might preclude reverence for the holy law. This lunatic, they declared, doesn't he know faith is a serious matter? The Baal Shem Tov knew it very well. No one was more serious than he in his love for God and humanity. And so when his followers asked him why the other rabbis denounced him, he answered them with this parable. There was once a good family who held a great wedding feast. Wanting to share their joy, they invited the entire village to join in the celebration. In one corner of their parlor, they set a group of musicians to play, and soon the entire house was filled with music and dancing. As they were celebrating, a man passed by the home's front window. He could see the people whirling about the room, arms in the air. But being outside, he could not hear the music, and from his angle, he could not see the musicians. Thus he said to himself, "Look at these people. They must all be mad." And so he went on his way, unable to take part in the celebration, for he could not hear the music that animated the wedding guests. I begin with this story because it reminds us that the most courageous leadership often requires moving to the rhythm of music, marching to the beat of a drum few others can hear. Tonight, we honor the legacy of a man who did just that and more. He was the drum major, not only defying the institutionalized racism of this country, but even at times defying the resignation of many whose dreams, as we read of the Israelites in this week's Torah portion, had been crushed by cruel bondage. But not King's dream. He was able to look beyond what he called the starless midnight of racism to a daybreak of peace and brotherhood. And I begin with the Baal Shem story because there are, in all likelihood, some people peering through our door or watching through the windows of their television sets, wondering what we are doing together tonight. Some in the Jewish community may be murmuring, with all that we have going on right now, hostages to bring home, a terrorist organization to neutralize, please God, without further loss of innocent Palestinians or Israeli soldiers. A humanitarian tragedy in Gaza, a conflict threatening to widen, perverse charges of genocide in the International Court of Justice, and anti-Semitism on our own doorstep. With all these concerns, shouldn't our efforts be focused on ourselves? And there may be some non-Jews looking on, wondering for other reasons what brings us together tonight. They look at us, Temple Emanu-El and Concord Church, and they just don't see how much we share in common and how much we need each other. Nearly 70 years after the murder of Emmett Till and the Montgomery bus boycott, nearly 60 years since the passage of the Voting Rights Act, racism is alive and well in America, still embedded in our social structures. Still we wait for the passage of the John Lewis Voting Rights Advancement Act and the George Floyd Justice in Policing Act. Still we wait. And 85 years after the tragic voyage of the St. Louis, 80 years after the Nazi death marches, we know that anti-Semitism is also alive and well and on the rise. The last few months especially have been frightening for the Jewish community, not just on the college campus, but on the streets of our own city. We here tonight understand anti-Semitism and racism emanate from the same pathology, the failure to discern in the other a common humanity, exacerbated by ignorance, nursed by blame and fear. The disease eats away at the fabric of society. And we here tonight know that only together can we fight it. So for those who are wondering, that's why we are here. In our being together tonight, we do hear the music. And through Dr. King's vision, we do see the light. Never mind that others may not. We do. So now, let us rise together as we lift every voice and sing.